Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Cato Emotion Plays. We are your hosts. I'm Cato Emotion, and this is producer Mike. Say hey, Mike.
Hey.
Thanks again for joining us again this week, guys. Today we're going to be tackling Bramblestock Village, and we will be discussing board games, which seems appropriate considering we're all locked inside. We're going to talk about what our top board game choices are and what we personally would recommend as our number one lockdown board game to have around. So let's get the ball rolling.
All right, let's go. This is a difficult part of Trine. This is the end. I mean, I don't know because I've never played it before, but I assume it's difficult.
Yeah, we're certainly getting warmer. Oh my gosh.
Oh!
Classy.
Golly gee. These guys are very unwelcoming.
You know, nothing like jumping into spikes to start everything.
Yeah, right? It's just like last stream.
Yeah. I swear we're getting better. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe we'll play better and trying to.
I do like how we're gonna play the whole Trine series because, you know, in a row. I don't often do that with video games where I play the sequel right afterwards. So maybe we'll have the mechanics down. Or close to down.
I don't think I've ever just played a bunch of sequels in a row either. I mean, it usually takes me years to finish a video game, so there's
I was just gonna say, to be honest, I don't finish video games terribly often, so...
Yeah, same problem.
I was looking up, before the stream, I was looking up on Steam today, some friends of our accounts, and it was showing the completion rate of games, and yeah, ours wasn't great. We also don't play a lot of games where the goal is to complete them. Like, I think the game where we spent the most time on, we play a lot of casual games together. AKA, instead of Netflix and chill, it's Steam and chill on the couch. And Stardew Valley is like one of our go-to ones, and there's no end to that game as far as I understand. It's just kind of open world building.
Seems to be what everyone's into these days, so...
Yeah.
You know, open sandbox.
Animal Crossing is the new rage, for example.
Yeah.
You know?
Even GTA 5 just refuses to die.
Is that right?
Yeah, actually. I was on Twitch yesterday looking up the top 10 most viewed games. And GTA 5 is actually really high on the list.
Is that right?
I think it's like...
You know, I've never played GTA 5. The last GTA game I played was 4. Which seems like ages ago. I played it when it first came out. I'm showing my experience in gaming, I suppose.
Yeah, I never actually liked the GTA series, so I just never got into it personally. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into this whole, oh man, we should do like a leak stream, because a match in League of Legends,
yeah,
you know, it's like 20 to 30 minutes, plenty of time to talk about stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, even if we suck and we piss off a few people, it's actually still a pretty fun game to play.
My favorite streams to watch are sports games for that reason. I feel like the drama is contained in like an episodic form
FIFA,
already. You know?
Also true. FIFA 2020 was, I think, number 6 on that list.
Yeah.
I mean, don't quote me on this, but they're...
Oh no, I hear you. It's awfully popular. I've been getting into The Sims 4 lately in my free time. I'm a filthy casual, what can I say?
Well, I mean, at least you own it, right?
I do, I own it. I was playing and created some of our neighbors, and I created them all in a house together. And my one neighbor, David, he hung out with me while I was playing. And I said, so the thing about this game that you have to get over quickly is that it's a little embarrassing because you're kind of playing with a digital dollhouse, you know? But if you can own up to that, it's quite fun.
Yeah, I personally never got into it, but it is certainly a very popular series.
Indeed. So yeah,
honestly, yeah.
I'm not good at finishing games. Yeah, I've been playing a little bit of board games over the break. We have been going back to an old classic, and that is Splendor. We've been going back to Splendor.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, tried and true.
I think I've only played that once with you guys, but I enjoyed it. I actually
Only once, huh?
Just haven't had the chance.
That's one of our old favorites. That is absolutely one of our old favorites.
Yeah, no, it's a good choice.
Yeah.
You want to, for the viewers that have not played the game, do you want to describe what it's about?
Yeah, in Splendor, you're kind of a gems merchant, and you are, gosh, it's kind of like the colonial times, like European colonial times, and the artwork is definitely kind of harkening back to that era. So I'd say it's about from 150, 200 years ago, right? And so I'd hardly say it's antiquity, but it's the basis of the game is using cards and coins. You kind of do some deck building. You do some deck building, and you try to make the most efficient gems mines, and you try to attract merchants to your gems. So the artwork for the game is really cool. It's one of those games that's very quick to learn, very fast paced and competitive. Kind of screw your buddy, screw the person next to you type thing. And yeah, I'm a big fan of it. It's very fast paced. It's one of those games that's like, it's quick to learn, but it's fair. And the more you play it, the better you do get at it in theory. Although, we played with our neighbors, and one of our neighbors won the second game. She didn't quite win the first game, but she did win the second game, so I was impressed. So you can have beginner's luck with this game, but at the same time, it's fair. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a well-made game. It's extremely well balanced. And I think that's critical for a board game or a card game, because you don't want to feel like the game's cheating you, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Splendor's been around for a while.
It's from 2016. It's actually a pretty new game, relatively speaking.
Oh, really?
You know, it's certainly not Monopoly or Clue, you know?
Okay.
I still think we have your guys' copy of Settlers of Catan over at our place, unless we ended up buying one and I didn't notice.
I mean, you bought the expansion for Settlers.
Is that what's over at our place? Okay.
Yeah, I think you have part of it. I don't know why we didn't like keep the two of them together.
Well, there have been a few things I've left over at friends' houses, and then coronavirus happened, and it's just okay. I'll see that stuff in a couple months.
Kinda.
I left my boom mic stands over at two different places. But whatever. I'm surviving. How do we get this green bottle of experience goop?
Yeah, I probably should have stuck around near you, because you could probably just make boxes.
Yeah, I'm just making boxes and I'm gonna knock it over.
Yeah.
There we go. I did it.
So would you say Splendor's like in your top 3?
Oh, definitely. Splendor's Splendor's our go-to. I wouldn't hesitate at all to put it in my top 3. I don't know what the other 2 would be. Catan's an interesting one. I really want to like Settlers of Catan, but I don't know. There's nothing really bad I can say about it. It's long. Sometimes. Not saying you guys, but some people I know play Settlers of Catan a little bit cutthroat. Careful, poison. And that can be a little bit of a turnoff. Like it's almost too popular of a game, and so I feel like people maybe take it too seriously. Oh wait, I need to do one of those thingies, one of those diamond thingies.
Oh yeah, the triangles.
That was a triangle.
A square? Holy smokes, you're a
Whoa!
Big boy. Oh, I thought.
Oh, it's the rock monster again.
Last time, but now he's
monster.
He's just a regular enemy. Yeah, okay. I mean, like honestly, Settlers isn't for everyone, but
no. know. I don't dislike it. I really do like it. I don't know. Top 3's supposed to be reserved for things that are top 3. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, no, fair enough. Okay, so what sits in your number 2 spot then?
Oh no. Oh man. I don't know. Splendor might be one of my number 1s. I don't know. Huh.
Well, you already put Splendor. Let's say like, oh my gosh! Wow.
Well, what do you
that
constitute
was ballsy.
as one of these board games casual game? Are we counting traditional card games like in 52 cards?
I wasn't counting them, but I mean, like, look, if you want to go in that direction, by all means. Like, I guess it doesn't have a board, but it's a game.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I count on my list. Actually, no, I'm not even going to say it because that'd be a spoiler. But there are, like, things considered board games today that are modern, and they're basically cards.
Yeah.
So, sure, we'll say it's allowed.
So I think my top games, I don't actually own this game, but I bought it for my folks, and we play it a lot when I'm back on holiday. It's called Machikoro. Do you know this game? It's a city builder. It's a city builder game. And it's all card based, but you end up putting out so many cards like solitaire in front of you, and everybody does, that you're competing to see who can build their city the fastest. And I'm just impressed by that game at what they can do with cards. And then I think the other game to round out my top 3 would be another card game. Apparently I don't like boards very much. And that is Sushi Go.
Interesting.
I just think Sushi Go is too cute, you know?
Oh, yeah, Sushi Go.
So yeah, I'd say that those are my top 3 games. Are Machikoro, Sushi Go, and Splendor. And Splendor has to be my number 1. Splendor's fantastic. I think that game is about as perfectly balanced as any game could be. Sushi Go is just silly fun, you know? But growing up, one of my favorite card game was Euchre, you know? I don't know if we've talked about this before about Euchre, but
Oh, yeah, we briefly spoke about Euchre.
yeah, I think we did on the
card
stream.
game.
I think we briefly spoke about it on the stream. Yeah.
Maybe, or maybe we were just chatting. D&D.
Oh.
That didn't quite work out.
Those spikes were effective.
Spiky, I feel you.
So yeah, so I'd say those are my 3 games. Clearly, I prefer cards over boards. We've gotten some board games recently. We went to a Belgium indie board game kind of expo. And we tried out a bunch of different games, and that was super fun. But my takeaway was, for some reason, I like card games. I like card games that are a little bit more casual. I think it's because I hesitate to get into anything that's too complex, with the exception of D&D. You know, D&D is my one super complex game that I'm okay with getting into. You know.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Because I used to play really complex video games. For example, Civilization. Like that game is a time suck and it's super complex. And I like city builders, but I have City Skylines. I haven't spent a lot of time with it, but I really enjoy kind of village management systems. So I have the video game Surviving Mars, and I have the video game Banished, and I have the video game... Oh, what's the other one? What's the other one that I like to play? Oh man! You accidentally killed me.
Mate.
That was an effective way to kill me. But yeah, so these types of games, these kind of like management games, I tend to be drawn to with video games. But for some reason, when we get together with card games and board games, I guess I want a game that's casual enough that I can have a side conversation over it. And last time we played Settlers, I think I made everybody a little bit angry because I was trying to have a conversation during it, you know? But I think that's just my approach to board gaming, you know?
I mean, I don't remember it being that bad.
I shouldn't say angry, but I think people were underwhelmed at my performance and my willingness to pay attention to the very important game going on.
You certainly did take your time. There might have been whiskey involved.
There may have been, yes. This was not a completely sober coffee affair. But yeah, I like Settlers. It's just, you know, I just don't like to take game night too seriously. You know? So we watched the movie Game Night recently. Have you ever seen that one?
No, I have not.
It was a silly, funny comedy. That would be it's a decent date night comedy movie, popcorn movie. It's not trying to win the Academy Award for Best Picture, but it was silly.
Oh man.
So, but anyways, what about you, Kevin?
It's not my cup of tea. Yeah, I'm kind of more in the other direction, but I'm gonna say my number one game, and I like a lot of board games. It's probably gonna be Codenames.
Oh,
I don't think I've ever had a bad time playing Codenames.
Oh man,
anybody, all ages.
I need to change my top 3 and put that in there. That's good call.
Yeah, I knew you forgot about that.
Yeah, I forgot about it. Yeah.
So for those of you that don't know Codenames, definitely if you get a chance, pick it up. Definitely. But it's a word association game, and basically you play on teams, and it's 2 versus 2. But you can also just do a co-op version where it's just the 2 of you against the board. And basically, it's the first team to guess 7 clues, and it goes in turns. And you try and connect as many of the words on your word map to a single word. I'm not explaining this the best, but for example, maybe your words are eagle, bald, and freedom. And the person and you're looking at your word map and you have these 3 words and you're like, okay, the clue I'm going to give my partner is America. And then they look at the board and they see these words and they make the connection, they guess all 3, then you get all 3 of those points, for example.
The game is not often always that nice to you though, because it's random.
No, so it's usually not.
It's usually way more. You have to like think of inside jokes and whatever. Yeah. So it's a lot of.
You can go really deep with this game. It's a lot of fun.
And you gotta think the better you know your partner, the more advantage you probably have. You know.
Very good point. It is a large part of it's actually just knowing who your partner is and playing to their strengths. So yeah, that's probably number 1 on my list. Number 2, I'm going the opposite direction of Mike here. I do like board games, and I sometimes like more complicated ones. I like Terraforming Mars. It's not. Oh yeah. Side note about Codenames. Another reason why it's great. It's compact. It's a bunch of cards. It's a 5x5 grid you make with the cards, and it's a cheap game. It's like, I think it's 12 USD and 14 euros. I'm not sure it's more. Yeah, I looked it up while I was.
I didn't realize it was so inexpensive. Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy, and there's expansions and stuff. So if you want to do like the Disney version, or if you want to do like, apparently there's like a Codenames for adults.
Oh, I see what you mean. Dirty jokes and
probably,
things.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah, so there's lots of versions you can check out. So on to the next game, Terraforming Mars. It's a bit more complicated. It's a lot more about resource management. And essentially, future's ruled by corporations, well, very much like today. And your job is to be the first to terraform Mars. So you collect all these resources, and your goal is to basically have the most, I guess, their victory points by the end of the game. And the way you do this is through achieving certain milestones and basically playing certain cards that increase the amount of victory points you get. But certain cards could only be played in specific scenarios, like the temperature of the planet has to raise to like 0 degrees to play certain cards. and there's a whole bunch of things like you really have to pay attention to every round, and it's a little complicated. And that's just the base game. I have not played the expansion. I heard it's 10 times more complicated.
Wow.
A lot of fun. Takes a long time to play, and it's an expensive board game. It's like 50 euros.
Yeah, so, I've watched this game played before, and I really, really want to play it. Do you have this game?
Really? I thought about buying it, but I'm just like, man, you guys won't like this game. And if you guys don't like it, you and Kate are the two people we play board games with. You, Kate, and then I guess Ben and Wanda when they're available.
Yeah, I mean the problem is whenever we're available, we usually play D&D together. So, not that that's a problem.
Nope.
It just
Totally
kind of
not.
limits our. So one of the things in 2017 when I had that kind of gap year and I lived with my folks in Indiana, one of the few social things I did with people my age is I went to a board games cafe and we kind of tried new games most weeks till I got into a D&D group, and then that was pretty much what I did, right? But prior to that, there was a It's Colonizing Mars, right? There was a Colonizing Mars game. Terraforming Mars, I'm sorry.
Yes.
There was a Terraforming Mars game that was happening.
Yep.
And I only could eavesdrop because all their players were chosen at that point. But I got a lot out of just watching people play for quite a few turns. And it was, yeah, I really do want to play that game. It's not that I don't want to get into complex games. It's that I just haven't yet. I don't know. I do like casual games.
I mean, that's...
It's just, but yeah, that one, definitely. Because the subject matter. I mean, I literally own the video game Surviving Mars, which is basically the video game equivalent of that. That one's a little bit darker. This is more you're by yourself city building, so I guess it's not exactly the equivalent, you know? That game's a lot more, there's like teamwork involved too, right? Am I thinking right?
For Terraforming Mars?
For the board game. For Terraforming Mars, yeah.
No,
you're playing versus each other?
No. You're definitely against each other.
Definitely against each other.
I mean, like, yeah, check out videos after this again.
I will, yeah.
But it's a pretty cool game. So I think that's just number 2, and number 3 is going to be quick because you already kind of touched on it. It's Settlers for me. I love resource management games. I love Settlers. I love Agricola. That was actually a close third place for me. But yeah, there's just something about it, man. It's like a classic at this point.
It is.
There's so many different strategies you can employ, and this is just base game, not even the expansion. I just really like the base game.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes people do get a little too competitive, but overall, like, it's a lot of fun for me, and it is a bit more of an expensive game. I think it's in the range of Terraforming Mars as well, because of its popularity. But if you haven't tried it before, at least give it a go. And by the way, you need to pull this lever top left.
That's why you were just up there.
I thought the knight had to do it.
The knight has to do it?
I thought the knight had to do it. I've never actually pulled one of these levers. You always end up being one. So yeah, that's my number 3.
Because he's the strongest? Okay. Yeah, man, definitely. We'll check that game out.
So if you had to recommend one board game, and it doesn't have to be from the list you already said, to any of the listeners here that are looking for a new board game to play during the lockdown, what would you recommend? Oh, and a level, so this is a good question.
I mean, I guess seeing as how you're probably not hanging out with too many people because it's lockdown,
Yep.
I would say Splendor. It's not as well known as I think it should be, and you get hooked on it after one game, and you just want to keep playing. So, I guess that would be the one. That would be, yeah, I'd recommend Splendor. What about you?
Okay. My choice isn't on the list, but on my previous list, but I would recommend Coup.
I don't know this one.
And Coup's, when we were in Tivoli, I think you may have went to bed. It's basically the bluffing game. And basically, you each start with some influence, and that's like a character in front of you, 2 face-down cards. You know what your cards are, obviously, and each card type has an ability. And you basically play through the game face down using the abilities of your card, but no one knows what the card is. So the idea is to like kind of figure out what your opponent has and call them out on it. If you're correct, then they lose 1 influence or 1 core card. And if you're wrong, you lose 1 influence. And there's many ways for you to like basically take out your opponents, but it's all about being the better bluffer and sometimes better negotiator. And I think it's a fabulous game. Base game's amazing. There's tons of expansions. I actually bought this game years ago, back when it was a Kickstarter.
Oh, yeah?
And had tons of fun with it. Also, super compact. It's like $10. And or maybe it was $12. It's 2 to 6 players,
which is really flexible.
Yeah. So when I was thinking about this, I was like, yeah, you know what? I think that'd be my choice. I do really like Codenames. I think it's another great option, obviously, but I think who would be my pick for what I'd recommend to anybody for the lockdown. And I don't know if you have anything else to add, Mike, but
that's great. That's a great. I remember you guys playing that, and you guys were having a lot of fun. You're right. I think I did go to bed, but you guys seem to be having a great lot of fun with that one. If you like those negotiation games and a lot of those, am I lying? Am I telling the truth games? That's definitely And the artwork for it was great. So.
Yes, the artwork's great. Other added bonus, and another reason why I recommended this: 1 round takes like 10 minutes.
That's great.
So
that's satisfying.
You can just
yeah,
and as you learn your opponents too, it gets more interesting. There's so many layers to this game, even though it's kind of simple in its concept. So anyways, if you don't know it, check it out. And I think on that note, this concludes this episode. So thank you everyone for joining us again this week for another episode of Cato in Motion Plays. I hope you learned about some board games you didn't know about before. And we're going to post links to all these in the descriptions below, so you can check them out and see if any of them tickle your fancy. So until next time, stay safe, obviously, and we hope to see you for the next episode. Take care, everybody.